Hello, everyone. Welcome to the most awaited rivalry scrim we've had so far. It's the young Cloak challenging the veteran Genio, who is so far the undefeated champion of rivalry scrims. He won the best of 3 against Astros, which was quite a long time ago, and there's been a lot of fire brewing between these two, constantly at each other's throats, and finally that is all come to a boil here tonight. I'm joined by TARDIS, the other caster in Siege, in Seismic, one of only
Yes.
4.
One of only 4.
One of
you know,
only 4.
We're,
You
we're,
know
a,
what?
we're a rare commodity here.
We are, but you know what?
Not
We're
too many of
quality.
us.
We're quality,
We're
though.
quality.
We're quality.
Yes, it's not like anyone can be a caster. There's a
Exactly.
rigorous
It's
screening process that you have to go through,
exactly.
right?
You have to be very, very good at what you do. You have to.
You need like 3 degrees, okay?
Yeah.
That's the only way you can get into.
Yeah, definitely. And you also you have to understand the game. You have to be good at the
Right.
game. You
And
can't
as a
just
person who hasn't played this game in like 3 months, I clearly have the best understanding of this
obviously.
game.
Who else could it
Obviously.
be? Who
Who
else
else,
could it
right?
be? It has to be someone, just like hitting champ and diamond season after season, really battling with the best of the best. Otherwise, you really can't make it in this business. But I think now that all the teams are sorted and everything, I think we can head into The
Map ban phase, yeah.
yeah, map bans, and we
So what
can.
do you think, Retro? What kind of maps do you think we'll play today?
Well, I am always hoping for, the sort of outcast maps, the consulate, the outback, the skyscraper, the theme park, canal as well. I'm actually not hoping for consulate. I don't know why I said consulate. I don't want consulate at all. As you do. Yeah, definitely. Uh, Consulate is. I think it could be a good map and a strong map, but you need probably the most team coordination out of any map in Siege. You really need to, both on attack and defense, they're very, very team heavy. So if you have a really strong team composition and you know that your teammates, that your opponents aren't maybe that cohesive, you can definitely take them on Consulate and absolutely, ruin any chances of them winning. But again, that is in this climate that we have in Seismic. I don't think that that's quite so possible with teams, being sporadic and you never know who you're gonna get as a teammate. You can't really practice any strats, so it doesn't surprise me that Consulate is out. Sky as well. Yeah, that I saw coming. I saw coming skyscraper getting out, but I can't say that it doesn't hurt. I do love a good skyscraper scrim. I think the map is good. I think the map can be really, really strong. It's just I think people aren't really used to it and they don't feel comfortable in it. Some places feel claustrophobic. Others are too open, too many angles, not enough angles. You always feel like you have a crosshair in your head. You're never comfortable. So I think that's the main reason why people generally ban it. That too. Definitely. Mhm. I actually agree. I think it's probably going to come down between Chalet and Oregon. I think those are maps that people play a lot. They're comfortable with those maps. They're comfortable, doing both teamwork and solo pushing. They understand them well. They know the strats. So I think that's, a comfort zone and a good, strong base for both teams. They never want to put themselves on the back foot and be like, okay, you know, let's throw the opponents off. And it's like, yeah, at the same time, you're throwing yourself off. And yeah, there we go. Exactly as you predicted. Border's next one to go. And I think who's betting next? It's Cloak's team, Shadow team. They are playing against some pretty strong gunners there. I mean, Genio and Peter both are really, really strong gunners. So I don't see Coastline happening. They do get rid of Oregon, which I did not see coming. So it's gonna come down between Chalet and Coast. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Chalet awards that kind of aggression, right? If you think about the coming in really hot and heavy, can really like reward your aggression as you're playing that correctly. And if you think about Chalet, the basement site, super simple. Just clear out wine, and it's just at that point you open 2 walls, and then it's just gun. So I'll be interested to see what the bands look like. What'll really be fun to see is like what the attacking side, who's like going to start on the attacking side too, right?
I agree.
So it is Chalet. Interesting. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go. Chalet. We haven't had Chalet. Chalet's a new addition to the map pool. We haven't had it since the summer. We lost it really early. And there we go. It's Genio's team that will be attacking. Now that is going to be a team to watch. I really wonder how they're going to go at this, how they're going to attack this map specifically. It's a very strong map and a very difficult map to attack sometimes, depending on the composition of the defense. So yeah, I'm really curious to how this is going to play out.
It's interesting. We see that the Shadow team is starting out on defense, which is interesting because Chalet is a very attacker-sided map that is within T1's Siege, right? Obviously, T1 Siege doesn't apply to our community, which tends to be more casual. So it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic plays out. As we start getting the lobby ready, it'll also be fun to start speculating about what the operator bans will be. I'm really looking forward to seeing whether Thatcher gets banned or not. I would love to not see a Thatcher ban, especially now with Impact EMPs being available, that kit being available. I'm really excited to not see a Thatcher ban show up. Yeah, and then something I would like to see an Azami ban. Give us an Azami ban. That would be really interesting. Azami is very powerful in this current meta, right? Especially now that a lot of operators have lost their nades, right? When the attacking side, your destructive utility has actually gone down. So you take out that Azami, you get so much value with that one defensive ban, right? And then, I would say, actually, now that I realize, there's Cape in this team. If I'm Genio's team, I am banning the Valkyrie. If I'm anyone on Genio's team, I am really pushing hard for this Valk ban, because Cape loves to play that Valkyrie, take that Valkyrie out of players' hands. It's really crippling, especially on Chalet, where you have so many cheeky spots, especially in like the Solarium side of the map, where you can really tuck those Valk cams in hidden corners where people just won't be looking. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the game plays on as, we will
100%.
start to enter into the operator ban phase.
Yeah, 100%. I would most likely, I would be really surprised if instead of the Thatcher ban, they went after somebody like Dokebi or Lion, because both of them essentially got a huge buff now with the Impact EMPs. I mean, they both have a really strong gadget, both really good guns. I mean, they both have DMRs. Lion also has that SMG or LMG. They both have the Gaunt 6 and they have the Impact EMPs. Those are very strong operators. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them get banned now, because they're.
I would be surprised at all that DMR on both operators hits like a gun, and especially for people who maybe watching this scrim later on or are tuning in after having left Siege for a long time. All operators now have had their optics reworked. So now instead of having select magnifications, you get all the sights leading up to your highest magnification. So, if you as an operator had a 2.5 on that gun, you have all the sights. So you can equip a 1.5, a 2.0, and a 2.5, whatever you wanted. And so we're seeing a lot of players like Ace, like operators like Ace and now Lion, attach these 1.5 optics. And I think, especially the 1.5, it's a very versatile scope. Gives you a lot of like good zoom and lets you kind of take both long range and mid range gunfights, especially on a map like Chalet. unless they're peeking on at the top of fireplace stairs and you have the super duper long angle into bedroom, and that's only on the top floor, right? Unless you have that kind of long angle, you're actually taking pretty close range gunfights, right? If you think about the classic gunfights, you're probably shooting somebody at the top of fireplace stairs from outside library window, or you're trying to take a gunfight at the top of blue stairs, right? These really tight angles that the 1.5 just shines at, right?
100%, yes.
And talking about up bans that, since we're like speculating so much, will we see a Frost ban? Frost is a really good operator for Chalet. Like you see Frost getting picked a lot for Chalet. So I'll be interested to see not only what bans get played out, but also what operators get played.
Yes, I will be very very interested to see how they actually pull it off, and will they, with the operators that they end up picking, which we might see some surprises. I wonder if we're gonna see an Amaru. I know that Amaru is a fan favorite on Chalet through that bedroom window. We've seen it before, even through the Solarium windows. We've seen it before. We've seen it even in tournaments. People love to bring that out. So I wonder if we're gonna see that, or if they're just gonna go for the clear cut, basic, classic attacking strategies. And also which sites they're going to pick. Because I think we can all expect the top floor site. I think everyone's going to be picking that. But then what is going to be the secondary and the tertiary site that they're going to be picking? Will it be kitchen dining? Will it be bar gaming? Will they try it with basement? I know the basement has become less favorable of a site to defend recently. So will they try their luck with it, or will they just go straight somewhere else? I really wonder.
That'll be interesting. I would actually say if Shadow Team, because they're starting on defense, are feeling particularly spicy, start on bar. Start on bar, bring the Mira, but you place one mirror window in supply closet looking into games room, and then you put the other mirror window at the top of fireplace stairs looking into library. Those two mirror window positions can give you so much visibility, right? And then you place a player at the top of library or slash blue stairs. You place a player, maybe a roamer near piano on that side of the map in case they're trying to clear from the bedroom side, right? And then you play like a very simple fallback strategy. It actually becomes really easy to hold library. So you bring a Mira, bring a Frost, right? And then you bring like maybe utility denial, like an ADS, like with your Jaeger or your Lami, something like that. So you get like a really good strong team comp if you're picking the right operators and making bar gaming a very, very, very tenable defense.
Yeah, definitely. And here we are, the lobby's ready. We are about to head straight into this matchup, and I'm really excited to see how this actually plays out. Here we go. Shadow Team, the defensive team, banning first. I wonder who they will ban on defense. I wonder if they will ban the Mira, who you just talked about so much.
Yeah, again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we come out of this with some sort of like a Valkyrie, a Zami ban kind of scenario, right? Maybe Genio's team bans the Valkyrie, and then maybe Shadow Team bans the Azami, right? It'll be interesting to see what these bans actually look like. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what's going on. We unfortunately get the Thatcher ban. Damn you guys! I was really hoping the Thatcher ban would be a thing. So it's whatever. Thatcher has this interesting place right now, right? In the current kind of like casual meta, as I would call it, because people have been so conditioned to banning Thatcher. The idea of not having a Thatcher ban kind of actually trips people up. It's like, oh, suddenly now I do have a Thatcher. How does this fit into my op lineup, right? Because for the most part, Thatcher has such a massive ban rate, right, that your op lineup has already been predetermined. It's like, okay, these are the operators we're going to bring. And then suddenly you make Thatcher available, you ban something else out. You're like, huh? What do I do next? I would say bring a Sledge ban. What could the worst be? We're seeing a Nook and a Valk ban come in. I'm not surprised that we saw a Valk ban, especially with Cape. what's more interesting is the Nook ban. We're seeing, especially in T1, a rise in the presence of Nook bans. They tend to be a lot more common. It's not surprising, especially now. More recently, I feel like we've come into this meta where Intel has become this huge thing. So, rewarding Intel and you ban the Nook, right? You're kind of doing yourself a huge favor there. So, you don't have to worry about a person sneaking through your bulletproof. We may have to do a quick
It looks
pause.
like it. We are going to have to do a quick pause and a quick rehost, but we will be right back.
All right. It is a Friday. Yep. It's got to do with the fact that you're thinking a little less and your muscles are a little looser, right? So you're stifling a lot of. It's the same reason why you shouldn't drink and drive. It's because you're technically reducing your reaction time, and there's like this hot spot. In programming, it's called the bomber peak. It's an actual technical term. So yeah, but anyways, we're seeing our first site come up. As we thought, unsurprising, it's a top floor base bedroom defense. We're seeing an extension, unsurprisingly, onto the fireplace side, but the clear seems to be coming in from the solarium side. We have a few players pushing in from solarium, and we've had a DC already. Yeah, so I think we'll have to probably just play this round and then pause during the next for now. But it is what it is. So again, we're seeing the front of the push come in from the west side. Yeah, so we're seeing. Yeah, so we saw the refrag come in, but at this point, it's 30 seconds left. Another pick, but guess what? They don't have too much site presence. This is a key battle. Vic has to win this gunfight in piano. He's gonna get the shotgun. The swing comes in and shotgun to the face. Oh, yeah. So let's just talk about that first round, right? Obviously, the disconnect, losing a player early on, kind of sucked. But what was interesting to see was how the approach kind of like didn't really have a good sense, right? It's a top floor defense, right? But why are you pushing in through West Main at the first floor, right? That's a big question mark for me. It seemed like when the initial entry was made by Genio's team. They didn't have any good awareness of where the players were. We saw Cape the Legion in West Main actually get the opening pick, and then you saw all the players rappel up to the roof and then start droning from there. But at that time, I feel like most of the damage had been done. Obviously, you saw the refrags come in. Peter refragging onto the Jaeger of Null at the top of Fireplace Stairs, and then later Demon trying to kill another player. But by that time, it was 3 seconds left in the game. Not a lot of side presence. The Termite who had the breach was also very lit. I would like to personally, obviously they're playing for fun. This is whatever. It's we're just here for the vibes. But these picks are going to have to wisen up a bit because running a Blackbeard and a Blitz with the Kali, it's going to be an interesting operator lineup, and I want to see how it works. Don't get me wrong. If it works, I would love to see it work. But we're going to have to see. It does lock out the top floor, so they can't go back to the top floor. We're seeing Bar Gaming as a current pick right now. Interesting that the mirror setup isn't coming like I had suggested, but they could have the plans. They're bringing a Jaeger and a Vamai, which is interesting because, believe it or not, so far, no one from the enemy team is actually bringing nades. So it's going to be interesting to see what this is. If you're bringing a blitz, I say rush, man. Just drone out and figure out where it does as well. Now we see a sledge, so that's one set of nades, but one set of nades for 3 ADSs and all the Vamai magnets in the world. So I'm gonna be very curious to see if this op lineup stays through the prep phase.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm curious about the fact that they didn't bring the mirror. Of course, we spoke about how strong the mirror is on this map before. During the map bans and everything. And she's really, really strong. She's not banned, so she's on the board. They could have brought her. They didn't. They also went for a bit of an off setup here. Usually people reinforce the left side and make holes. Obviously, there's an advantage and a disadvantage to both of them. It depends on how you're playing. Now, of course, we see here Vig setting up to play in the cubby, in the corner inside of Library, which is a very, very strong position. And for as long as he's in there, for as long as they can't flush him out of there, they can't really attack site because that's probably the most advantageous position for a player to be in.
And it's worth noting that the team, if you look at the attackers, don't have much in terms of utility clear. You have 3 stuns on the Nomad, 2 smokes on the Jackal, and you're going to presume that the smokes are going to be used for the Execute, right? Already we see Genio taking a huge amount of health loss from an opening engagement with the Vigil of Null. But I'm going to be interesting. If I'm the team and I know that there's a Jaeger playing in Library, I'm probably just telling my team, hey guys, let's just push a different way. And that might actually be the case that Mace being repelled upside down on the top of Soul Window. Let's see what happens. They bought the Vigil, but no follow-through engagement currently coming out of the trophy window. And you see Blackbeard getting the opening pick.
Blackbeard getting the opening pick, and a quick trade there from Cloak onto Genio, who was already on very, very low HP from the early engagement with Null. But look at that time. That's 90 seconds already wasted for this team, and they pretty much haven't made their way anywhere yet. They've only opened some doors. They are inside of kitchen, but that's still so far away from sight and so far away from actually getting that plant down or even killing anybody. We do see Mace with that blitz kind of rushing around top floor. He does see somebody at the top of the library stairs, that is Jordan, behind a shield, and see Jordan in a huge position here behind a shield and so many of those Womai discs, but it doesn't matter because he peeks a bit too aggressively. It's Demon who gets the pick, and suddenly the favor is on the other side. Vig gets Peter, Vig gets Mace. Huge 2k there. Make it a 3k from Vig. Spoke too soon. It's Demon who wins that engagement, and exactly as I spoke earlier, that Blackbeard is huge for winning these sort of gunfights against your opponents. And I think it's...
Yeah,
that
really, Blackbeard actually looking pretty clutch for Demon right now. Oh, we're seeing Cape also die. It's a 2v1. The interesting thing to note, though, is Demon is very, very lit. He could die to a goo mine here. And it's going to be up to Unfriendly to find these engagements. But we can see the remaining two attackers trying to form some sort of cross as they come in. Unfriendly's going to have to be very, very careful. He sees one.
Very little time.
The plant's
there
going
left.
down.
He has to go for the plant. It's Unfriendly who
Does he
peeks
see him?
around. He peeks around the bar. He whiffs the first couple shots. Whiffs another few. And he loses that. What a huge clutch there from Chip to win that in a post-plant situation. I really didn't think he could do that there. I thought Unfriendly had that, but just unlucky. Unlucky few whiffs there from Unfriendly to lose that round. But good on Genio's team to get themselves on the board and to get that first round after they lost Mace and had to play a 4v5 last time around. So great there on Chip and great there for the entire team, for Demon to bringing it back to equal numbers.
Yeah, Demon's Blackbeard play is really helping equalize the score. We're seeing them run it back, which I actually think is the play here. I think losing that library control early on kind of sucked a lot. We didn't see the Frost Mats play a lot of, provide a lot of viability as well. What would be interesting to see is how they take care of the trophy cutoff. I would actually, if I am playing as a roamer, I'm actually going to tell my roamer, don't play by soul stairs, play on top of bedroom. Use the bedroom sets, so that way you can at least rotate back through piano, that way your trophy window isn't cut off, right? That's the kind of like, in my opinion, the first domino that really fell there. Losing the visual to the trophy stairs, giving them all of that control, because it was really just the one roamer. Another thing maybe so it's just going to be interesting to see how the response comes out. We're seeing this early engagement coming out between the Vigil and the Maverick. Nothing much can be said right now. The take seems to have definitely changed as we're seeing a different kind of lineup. We're seeing an ace being brought, which was a hard breacher that was sorely missed that last round. So we'll see what impact it has this one.
Yeah, and I'm curious at the bringing the Maverick, considering that they're not attacking the bottom sites, and you don't really need that much hard breach potential. I mean, next to the ace, you don't really need the Maverick, and Maverick is a sort of a worse hard breacher in this situation for this specific attack. Maybe they're just bringing him, for the gun, because that M4 is a really strong gun, and of course the flashes. And Demon pushes straight in to get Vig, but it's Unfriendly with a trade onto Mace, who would have probably died to the Frost Trap anyway. It's Peter on the opposite end of the map getting out Jordan from that crucial position at the top of Library Stairs, and here we see them again in an advantageous position with man advantage and even more man advantage as Peter pushes straight down. He flicks onto Null, but it's Null who gets the pick, and it's 3v2 now. 90 seconds gone of the round. They still have time. They still have the man advantage. They do not have Diffuser anymore. It's lost somewhere in no man's land. But they are able to retrieve it safely. And here we see Genio now starting to do some vertical damage, and it's Null who takes advantage of that angle being created and gets Genio immediately, preserving that vertical control and making it just a little bit more difficult for these attackers to do anything. The defenders both pulled all the way back into sight. It's Cloak who does a lot of damage to Demon, who drops the hatch and then dies inside of gaming. It's Chip at the bottom of Fireplace Stairs. He got distracted by, I'm not really sure what, he got distracted by something, and it cost him his life. Good shot there from Null. And another round.
The goo mine at the door. That's what that was.
Oh.
The goo mine at the door. You saw that. And I think at that point they knew. Much better end game or end round play coming out of Cape's team this time around. Playing that 2v2 close together, which I think was bigger issue in the last time they ran this site. I don't think there was an effective 2v2 as the attack began to actually push into the site. But much better defense. We're seeing them now go flick back and forth between. You have the wrong stream. We're seeing a. Is this a basement? No, this is a top floor site again. Unsurprising, they won it before. The op lineup has changed considerably. We're seeing a Kaid and a Thunderbird being brought out. I think that's actually a very smart play, considering that there's only just one set of nades that's being run, and we're not seeing a lot of nade play. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to run a Jaeger and a Vamai, especially with now that you're bringing in a Lucy, so you're just doubling up on like the explosive utility that needs to be cleared out, right? Obviously, it seems like the Jaeger ADS devices are being placed towards Fireplace. That's not unsurprising as well. That's a traditional site where people clear from. I actually think the clear is going to come in from Seoul, where the rest of the attackers are. Yeah, we see the east side push come in now as the attackers begin to start kind of like gaining a sense of what's happening. Two people by library to this attack definitely feels a little scattered for now. So we'll see how exactly the team wants to take it.
I was thinking the same thing, and I do wonder, we saw Mei switch from the Twitch onto the Blitz, which I find to be a curious choice, considering the fact that they do have the Kaid and they do have a Thunderbird. Not to mention, of course, the Legion and the Jaeger, who all are very easily countered by Twitch, and Mace is a very, very good Twitch player, so I wonder if he's just, still going for those vibes rather than the strats, because to leave out Twitch is, I would say it's a mistake, but at the same time, people are just trying to have fun, so maybe they see a different strategic advantage to bringing the Blitz than what I do. But it's Mace who loses his life first. A quick trade there from Peter onto Vig, and he gets another one. A 1-for-2 trade there from Peter. Great job.
Yeah, Viggy, where are you at, boy? You're going 6-3 only. Peter's trying to catch up to you, my dude. They're trying to go for this KD war here. We're seeing Cave take this aggro gunfight. Oh, it's a 4v2. Peter's on a tear right now with a triple kill. He's matching up. The announcement, oh my god. It's an interesting game as it unfolds in front of us.
Definitely. Jordan ready with the C4. Could pop it and get a couple picks. It's Cloak, who's all the way from a very deep room. He came all the way back to site to hold on and try and win this out still. They do have some control here over Piano, but it's not enough. And it's Jordan who loses his life, leaving Cloak in a 1v4. There's one on the window. He does a little bit of damage, but it's not quite enough. In the smoke, he can't see the planter. He does get the window pick, but he still has 3 more attackers to take care of and a lot of debris to go through. He's getting flanked through Solarium. It looks like he knows, but unfortunately, it's the 2x scope, or the 1.5 scope from Genio that wins that gunfight.
So, by the way, Retro, that I think is the first time in this rivalry series where Genio is actually refragged onto Tape. Because if you're not keeping count, guys, this, by the way, remember, this is a rivalry scrim. Tape is at 2, Genio's at 1. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's a 2v2 currently. Sorry, it's a 2-2 split currently. 2 more rounds left on this half. If I am Shadow Team, I want this next round. 3-2, 3-3 on a Chalet defense. Oh man, you can't you can't ask for more.
Definitely.
Right? I'm actually curious to know why the defensive team hasn't opted for the basement site really. I would like to see a basement site. It's hard to hold basement, but I think this team seems to enjoy their roam strategy, and I think the basement site is actually pretty useful for a basement, given the fact that there's no Thatcher ban, right?
Yes.
But it is what it is. We're going to see another top floor defense. Ugh, boring. But I'm interested to see what it is. The Blackbeard's the same, I think Genio's scheme is running with the formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that I was right in my assumption earlier that, you know, if they have the vibes, they will have the rounds. Because so far they're bringing these curious picks that, you know, we would look at wide-eyed and not really be sure what they're about. Like the Blackbeard and the Blitz who just died to that C4 from Jordan. Good C4 toss to get a pick very early on. Mace not too happy with that. I honestly thought that would have missed him too. It didn't look like that was close enough, but you know, the C4 can be very deceiving sometimes. And yeah, as I was saying, I think that they are just going for, you know, the vibes, not so much thinking
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, listen, and this is a pro tip as the round progresses and we see the early part of the round play out. Pro tip for all of you guys watching the stream. Best way to win at Siege, have fun at Siege. It doesn't matter. Forget about the meta. Go have fun. If you have fun, you'll win.
exactly.
I'll tell you that much. And if you lose, guess what? You're still having fun. So who's the real winner at the end of the day? We see that Genio scheme now has full library control. This is essential when attacking the top floor site, right? At this point now, it's just a question of, guys, we gotta get this utility off, right? Clear the utility, get your flank drones established, and then just go for the site execute, right? You have 4 smokes, you have the site to execute utility. It's all a question about, does this main wall get opened?
Yeah, and it's very early on as well. You know, it was maybe about a minute in when they had that control, and it's Demon who dies to a frost trap, or it gets caught at, oh no, that's fall damage. He fell from the roof. And another one falls to this roam, and it's leaving Chip all by himself now in essentially a 1v5, seeing his Demon, even if he does get to him in time to pick him up, will be on very, very low HP, and not that much time for him to even go back outside and get him. I don't know if he knows that he's about to get flanked from these blue stairs. It doesn't look like he does, and it's Null who gets the kill there. Great job there from Shadow Team. It looked like they were really strong, Genio's team, but they just really fell apart unluckily there. You know, they lost a couple lives quickly, and then it all fell apart for them. Which is really unfortunate because we were saying they looked really strong and they had that library control, which is, as always, crucial, and they had it pretty early on. I think they just got a little bit lost as to what to do next. You know, sometimes they can throw you off a little bit when you get control quickly. Then you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Do I go for the wall? And you know, there's still so many people alive. Like there's still 5 people alive. You're like, oh, are we gonna get flanked? You sort of get stumped. And here we go.
Right.
That basement site that you were talking about.
Basement defense finally coming out. No, I'm actually happy that we see the basement. Ironically enough, it's the one time they're not actually bringing any wall denial. There is a Cali and there is an ace on board. Now here's the key bit. Alright. This is a pro tip, you guys. This isn't something TARDIS just came up with. This is what the pros will tell you. Listen to TARDIS now. This is what the pros would do. You see that main wall that Retro is looking at right now? Don't go for it. Retro, go back towards the wine cellar wall. Alrighty, you see those 2 wine cellar walls. You want to get that wall and you want to get the other wall. That's the only 2 walls you need. At that point, the only other thing that matters is whether the hatch is reinforced or not. So let's go up a level. And we see that the hatch is soft. That's okay. Let the hatch be soft. Here's what you want to do. As an attacker, you want to clear open those 2 walls. Smoke, and then just plant behind the wine pillar. Guys, don't worry about main wall when it comes to the basement defense. All you need is a drone on West Main to exactly tell you that there's a player where Null is right now, and that's the only control you need. Obviously, we're not seeing the team do that. We're seeing this main side clear. Now, here's the interesting thing with this kind of take. You can do 2 things. If you are the kind of bold player, you can actually big ball this shit and actually just, oh my god, we're seeing a nade kill!
And then a gadget kill! And Genio already inside of sight, completely unaware, is Unfriendly, who loses his life very early on. A little bit of help from Blue there from Cape, and it's Jordan who dies next to Peter. He was dying anyway to that fire. all over site. These attackers, the site is crawling with attackers, and both of these defenders are still on the roam. Getting back in here, Null giving away his position. Genio with the swing gets him. It's Cape who gets a kill with the knife, and it's Cape who gets another kill. What a great 3K there from Cape. I don't know how he managed to crawl into the planter and kill him from behind. I thought he was somewhere on the roam. I swear I thought I was spectating an attacker there. Oh my goodness.
That is why you go for the wine pillar plant. Let's go for the wine pillar plant. Just do wine pillar. You get so much more cover when you're doing the wine pillar plant. Just do the wine pillar plant. No, Cape, we will not be clipping it.
Definitely. I am speechless at the fact that Cape actually managed to do that. When I was spectating Cape, I thought I had made a mistake with the spectating. I thought, oh, you know, I'm spectating an attacker who's planting. Or
right, yeah.
And then it's Cape. I was very lost. But
What? You know? Oh, but you know what, Rector? You know what they say? You know what your favorite Dutch caster of all time says? Do you want to know who the favorite Dutch caster is first before?
Is it?
It's Hap.
Yeah.
It's Hap. Yeah, it's Hap. If Hap was here, which Hap, if you're listening to this, come join us. He would say that Siege is a game of two halves, and now we are on the second half. It's a 4-2 on the defensive side for Shadow Team. They've come on to the attacking side. Now is the time for Shadow Team to actually just land this home, right? You're bringing a meta lineup. You have the Asa, you have the Ace. Open up the bedroom wall, put the Asa, throw the smokes, clear utility. You have four smokes. Get library control. It shouldn't be that hard. And just plan. Just go play the OBJ. You should be fine. They should be aware of this Legion position down below, which will make their library ingress that much more hard. But, you know, they seem to be aware of the fact that Peter is playing down in games.
Definitely. And it's Demon who loses a little bit of health there in the first engagement from the library window. It looks like he's contemplating whether he gives himself an out through that cubby hatch. I think you definitely want to do that. You always want to give yourself as many outs as possible. Because you never know when you're going to get pushed or double teamed, and you want to be able to get out quickly before it's too late. It's Genio on a roam as well here. And he looks away just at the right second because that nade misses, and it's Mace with the first kill of the night to get Cape off the board. And that is a huge pick as well. That is their sludge gone. That is the 2 nades that they needed gone. That is also any amount of soft destruction that they could desire also gone. And this position still intact on Chimney. Mace holding very, very tightly and still safe. The attackers, with 90 seconds already wasted in this round, still not really having an in anywhere. They don't have control over Solarium. They don't have control over Library. They do not have an in into sight, and it looks like all of their utilities slowly but surely being wasted the longer that they go on. I think they might just have to pull the pin and go for it, you know, do a little rush strat, which sometimes it definitely works, but will it? And Jordan, inside of Library, inside of Solarium, alongside Unfriendly, they take control, and they go for this plant. They go for the plant, and it looks like they're going to be going outside to protect this plant. Meanwhile, the rest of their team on the other side, pushing these attackers. It's Vig who gets Mace. That's a huge pick there. Genio with a nice little trade onto Jordan. It's a 3v3. 28 seconds left on the clock. Vig gets another huge pick there. And it's all up to Demon now. He got, as Null gets Genio. Demon with not enough time and not enough HP. He loses that round. What a round there from Shadow Team to bring themselves one step closer to match point. I mean, that was a huge sight. As I was saying that they weren't in a good position to do anything, they just took Solarium control, which they had zero, what's the word? Zero...
Bro, just watch your cams, you guys. Like, you have to have a player watching cams. Somebody's got to play the D-pack role, right? Be a D-pack. Every now and then, it's not all about being on the roam. It's not about, getting those opening frags. It's about just being that support player who's guys like on the cams, aware what is happening around you. Siege is a game of information, everybody. Learn what is happening on the map. What's interesting to note is there weren't also any good C4 players, or at least C4 players who were in any position to kind of deny the plan. We saw the initial entry from Jordan, from Solarium into Bedroom, getting the opening pick into the site, not the opening pick, but getting a pick onto the site player. And at that point, you can see the scramble come in. But guess what? Vig is in piano, he has the cutoffs, right? We saw a defender at the top of Solarium Stairs, probably the person who had killed Jordan at that point. But at that point, Plank was down. You still had a bunch of attackers still available. Vig was still holding the cutoff. And point the round was almost already down, right? The interesting thing is, what do we do now? I'm going to chalk that up to a round that went to the surprise element. We're not going to get the surprise element right now, because if you sneak the Solarium take again, you're going to see, there is a frost mat. Have you droned the frost mat?
That is a good question. I think they probably have, seeing as the Frost has been a never-present operator this entire time, I think. Next to Sledge, she's the one operator that has been brought every single round without fail. So I think that they must be aware of the Frost at this point, or at least I hope that they are. Genio loses a lot of health there to a rogue nade from Cloak. Kodo lost his life, but he lives to see another day. A minute already gone, and Genio quickly rotating all the way up to blue and into, I presume, into games as well. He gets rid of that Twitch drone, and of that regular drone, he whiffs a little bit there. That could have been a huge pick onto Cloak, but instead he pulls back, survives to live a bit longer, and it's a bit of a ring around the rosy. It's Cloak with the ping swing to get the first pick on to Genio.
It's 4-2, by the way. It's 4-2. Cape is now 4-2 against Genio. Regardless of which team loses, I'm pretty sure Cape's gonna win. Oh, this nade is gonna be huge!
And an unlucky chip just walked into that nade.
Who can withstand? Can he not withstand? He should be able to withstand, right? Because of the armor plates.
He is crawling back into safety. Meanwhile, the attack is just falling, collapsing onto these defenders. And Chip does get himself up. He's right next to the planter. That smoke canister pushes him away, and that Vig gets the kill there. Mace all the way at the bottom of blue, leaving Peter alone in sight. And there goes Mace. Mace does get one, but he has 30 seconds left. They know exactly where he is, and he has 3 attackers to go up against. He's throwing out the rest of these smoke canisters to try and keep them away. He tries to withstand there, but it's Vig who gets the kill, and Shadow Team put themselves on match point. 2 teammates, 2 players on their team on double digits already with the kills.
Yeah, no, that was a clinically good round coming out of Shadow Team. You saw the opening picks go their way. They were really good about it. The Asa coming into piano, calling things out, losing the rook early on, an amazingly well-timed nade. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that the rook obviously had armor plating, that's a dead. That's a down. You do not survive that without rook armor plates, right? So, all in all, an amazing attacking round coming out of Shadow Team. We're seeing the basement being played very early on. I'm really curious to see how this goes. We're seeing the elbow extension into Boiler. This plays very similar to how this is on Oregon, where you basically have the shield player. It can backfire on you, but if you have the West main player, you're basically denying all of wide, right? But guess what? Go up a level if you can, Retro. This hatch control is now extremely pivotal, because if you get a player on the hatch, you effectively cut off the rotate from the player playing an elbow, right? So here's what you do. You get a drone on West main, call West main, and then get a hatch player. Clear out dining, clear out West main, cut off the rotate coming in from Boiler, and then it's the same thing all over again, right? Here's what's missing. There are no nades. no need. So it's going to be a very interesting way to see how exactly the power positions of Wine Pillar and Boiler are being moved out. As we move into the action phase, that's going to be the thing to watch out for.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the lack of Wamai or a Jaeger on defense could be detrimental for that elbow player. Because Cape at that point was still on the sledge, but he picked off, which I don't know if that's going to how much that's going to negatively impact them, especially because they have no Gaunt 6s, even on the 0, who really should be bringing. Actually, they might have the Gaunt 6 on the 0, but that's 2 shields they have to take care of, and it's Demon who wins the first engagement against Vig, and that is, as we said, a power position for him to be holding there. Pushing out a little bit farther, there's that Osa shield that could be trouble. They do have this backside control, but it's Genio on a roam who, if he goes down either West Main Stairs or down the hatch in Trophy, could be huge for them. Mason, an even deeper roam all the way upstairs. Genio with the first engagement versus the Nomad. Loses a little bit of HP. Does he know that the Nomad has crossed all the way inside of West Main? He does not. He loses even more HP as elsewhere Vig loses his life. It's a 5v3 for Shadow Team. This could be the turnaround that Genio's team need. That Goyo canister could delay them by another 30 seconds if Peter were to pop it right now. It's Demon who loses his life inside of Elbow, but he's wasted already so much time. Does Peter know that they're pushing that opening? He does now, but it's not enough as he loses his life. Genio on very low HP, trying to come back to side, and the plant is going down. Mace also still on the roam, even farther away than Genio is. He could be going through the hatch, but he doesn't have any impacts left, and it's Jordan who gets Genio. With 30 seconds left on the clock, 40 seconds left on the clock, it's all up to Mace. He can't go through that hatch, and he can't go down West Main Stairs either, as they have that air jabbed off. He's going down. They do have him on drone, and they have their crosshairs on him. A bit of lag there for him. He tries to get Vig. He tries to get on friendly. He does get him, but he has to get the other two right away if he wants to win this. And it's Shadow Team who win round 9 for GG.
Well done.
Game over.
Well done.
Well done there.
That was a good game.
Well done there from Shadow Team. And I mean, this is a huge win here for Cloak, who dethrones Genio as the as the rival champion. Genio calls for a rehost. I really hope that despite losing 7-2, which you never like to see that, you always want to see some overtime play happen. But I hope that even though they lost, that they still oh, fuck me.
Yeah, no, that was a good game. I really enjoyed that. I think Shadow Team did a very, very good job of bringing in the on-meta picks and then just playing to the meta and playing to their utility. That was a really good game from Shadow Team, and you saw that, 7-2. So, yeah, Chalet, even, I think it comes down to the fact that they cleared the half forward too. So, anyways, that was the game. It was amazing playing, casting with you, Retro, so thanks for that.
Likewise. Thank you for joining me. It's always nice to have a partner in
always,
casting.
Dude. Always.
So, thank you, and we'll see you around for the next one.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye. Nice.